The opinions expressed within the content of this podcast solely that of our guests and do not reflect the views and beliefs of the Bigfoot and Paranormal Encounters podcast, its hosts or its affiliates.
The sun sinks low in the Allegheny Pines. There's a shadow moving between the timberlines. The city folks are sleeping, but the woods are wide awake. And there's more than just a wind making the laurel shake. Down a dirt track road where the cell service dies sits a man with a mic and the truth in his eyes. He's broadcasting live from the cryptid cabin floor, deep in Pennsylvania behind a bolted door. It's Bigfoot and Paranormal Encounters tonight, shining a lantern on the things that shun the light. Yeah, Dave Bruce is the pilot and the haunting stars now, so pour a stiff drink and wipe the sweat from your brow. Saturday night, 7 o'clock on the dot. The YouTube feed is humming and the tubes are getting hot. From the hair on a squash to the ghost in the hall. If it's weird, if it's wild, yeah, Dave's heard it all. He ain't looking for fame, he ain't looking for gold. Just the stories that the world is too damn scared to be told. He's broadcasting live from the cryptid cabin floor, deep in Pennsylvania behind a bolted door. It's Bigfoot and Paranormal Encounters tonight, shining a lantern on the things that shun the light. Yeah, Dave Bruce is the pilot and the haunting stars now. 7 p.m. Eastern. The woods are calling your name. You're in the cabin now. Welcome to the show.
Bigfoot and Paranormal Encounters podcast with your hosts Dave Bruce, Karen Reynolds, and Billy Reynolds. Sit back and enjoy the show.
Welcome to Bigfoot and Paranormal Encounters podcast. And now your host, Dave Weichert.
I don't have myself muted that time. I just wanted to throw that in there. I think it's, well, not funny, but it happens once in a while. So tonight we have a good program. We have a special guest. He is a friend. He is like family to me and many others. And we're going to bring in Mr. Bill Bean. He's going to be talking about his 13th book, his newest book. And we're also going to be sharing with you his upcoming book signing. But before I do that, I want to go ahead and I want to bring in my co-host, Billy Reynolds. Oh. Oh.
Good
There we
evening,
go.
everybody.
Billy, I'm sorry. I hit that button 3 times and it just, I don't know.
Dun, dun, dun.
Dun, 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 dun. Yes. So filling in for Karen tonight, we have our good friend, and he's going to be a co-host as well. Let's bring in Joshua Bell.
Hey, good evening.
Hey,
Hey,
Josh.
look at that.
How are we?
I clicked on him one time and he came right in. There's something about you, Billy.
You know what? I'm going to tell you right now, I'm not saying the B word because I don't want my camera to cut out like it did last time. The name of the statue, the B word.
Okay. All right. So let's bring in our guest for tonight, Mr. Bill Bean.
Hi guys, how you doing?
Hi, Bill. How are you, sir?
Doing great. Thank you for having me here. I appreciate it. And we were talking off air before we came on. I made a terrible mistake last night on my little broadcast. Which Josh was a part of last night. We were 20 minutes into the broadcast, and we were notified that no one was seeing us or hearing us. And the reason for that is because I forgot to hit the go live button. And it's just so Dave's little snafu there at the start is nothing compared to the 20 minutes lost last night in my own broadcast.
Hey, Bill, I want to share something with you. You know how when we do these podcasts, something strange always happens.
Yeah.
I had something set to do a tribute to 3 people that we lost this week, and it's gone. Well, I don't think it's gone. I think it's just hiding, but it won't let me access it. But
doesn't surprise me.
Yeah.
Doesn't surprise me at all. And it's amazing how those things happen in that way, but that's the way it goes. You can just come to expect something like that. And I want to say something before we get going here. How do you keep coming up with this unbelievable intro music and all this? And, he created the Warrior Mode song. That's my outro song for my show. And then he comes up with this thing here. Where are you getting all this from?
I don't know. I guess I'm spending too much time figuring. I'll tell you this. I used to be a lot better back in the days, but since I got sick and had heart surgery and all that, my hard drive up here actually stopped spinning, and it's like I'm learning this all over again.
This platter's crashed.
Well, Billy, I don't know what he's doing. I don't know how he comes up with these things, but that's a fantastic intro song for your show.
Absolutely. And
I love the song.
I don't know about you. I could see the files. I could try to use them when you're ready.
All right, Bill, I want to play a short video that you sent me, and hopefully it plays, because the last time I played something, it lagged and lagged. But let's give it a shot.
All right, we'll try it. A book called The Bean Files. This is the book that I've held off on writing for quite a while. I was content to have ended my writing career at 12 books, but there is so much more to my story that has to be told and shared. It's hard to fathom that I have had so many supernatural experiences throughout my lifetime. I've seen and experienced just about anything that a person can imagine and then some, from having interactions with angels and demons to witnessing demonic possession, along with performing exorcism for many people from all over the world. I've seen aliens, Bigfoot, men in black. I have experienced alien abduction as well. I have been monitored by black copters. I'm also a targeted individual and a person of interest, along with having been in many life-threatening situations throughout my lifetime. I'm going to cover many of those experiences in this book. Also included in the book are some stunning images of what I believe to be angels, demons, aliens, and UFOs. Most of these images were either taken by me or of me. If you follow me and have read some of my books, then you know that I believe all this supernatural phenomena is connected in some way. I believe that there's something present with us just outside of our perception, as if an entirely different world is taking place around us, though we can't completely sense it at the same time. Perhaps that world crosses into our existence once in a while. I can only speculate on this because no one knows for sure. What I can tell you for certain is that I have been selected to live partly in the supernatural world for some reason. So get your copy of the Bean Files and be prepared for quite a journey. Thank you very much, and God bless. There it is. And
There it
it's all
is.
true, and this is the world I live in, and God has chosen me. And boy, thank you, Josh. There it is, and his review and his testimony is on the back cover. Josh Bell's reviews right there on the back cover of the book, and I thank you, Josh, for that wonderful review as well. But what a journey! I mean, and Dave Weigert has been there with me from the beginning of my public, in becoming a public speaker and a media personality. Dave's been there pretty much from the start, and certainly he's responsible for the first speaking engagement that I ever did, and he's booked many, in between that. So he's been an integral part of this as far as my being a public figure and a public speaker and things of that nature. But I started out, the first batches of interviews that I started giving goes all the way back to 1996. And that was with Dr. Bob Hieronymus at 21st Century Radio, WCBM in Baltimore. That's really where it all started as far as giving the interviews. And then Dave came along with the public speaking and things of that nature. Now here we are. And so much has taken place over the years. It's almost like it's all blur. But yet, at the same time, new things continue to unfurl and develop as well. So, what a journey.
So how did you guys first meet, if you don't mind me asking?
Well, that's the question, I'm sorry, that I was just getting ready to ask Bill. Now, I know in 2007 we traveled to Alabama to a conference.
Yeah.
That's what the
But we met in 2006, I think, because my A Haunting, and I think many thanks to the A Haunting show and New Dominion Pictures, because they're the ones that really put me on the map, being seen on TV internationally, around the world. They're responsible for that. And I think Dave he'd seen that broadcast, which aired on September 7th, 2006. And then he contacted me not long after that, and we started corresponding. And then he set up, I think, the first appearance with, I think it was at that dance studio somewhere over in Baltimore, Dundalk.
Yeah.
And I think that's where it all started with MPRT. Dave was the director of that group. And that's where it started. Then the following year, he was traveling with me to places, and we were traveling to Birmingham, Alabama. I had to make an appearance at the Omega Con. So that's how it all got started between Dave and I.
Cool. I had no idea.
Yeah, it's been an amazing journey, and he's been along for a lot of it.
Let me throw this up, Bill.
Yeah, that's a great picture. And that is Dave and I at the Omega Con with Keith H. We love him dearly. Keith is recovering from a stroke, and we certainly pray for healing miracle for him. And that's Kane Hodder from, what was he, the Jason character or something, Dave?
Yes.
In those, I don't even watch those movies, but I know who he is, and I know what he.
Which one is Kane Hodder? The one in the white?
Nope, that's me in the white. Kane's in the center, and he's a real good guy. And we met a lot of people there, and that was a major deal, Josh. There was a lot of people at that. Where was that at, David? Like a Hilton Hotel or something. It was a very nicely done event, and a lot of people attended that event.
Like I said, my hard drive. I can't remember exactly, but it was at a good hotel, nice hotel.
Very nice. And if you remember this, Dave, we had Bob Sigmund with us, and so it was the three of us that made this trip. And we when we got into Birmingham, we got this cheap hotel somewhere. It was like a motor court outdoor type of hotel, motel, whatever you want to call it. We were on the second floor, and this like hurricane came to. I mean, this was bad. This is one of the worst storms that I've ever seen in my life. And the downpour. Dave opened the hotel door. I said, "Don't open that door." The winds were unbelievable. The rain was as hard as any rain that you could imagine. I will never, ever forget that. That was quite a night there in Birmingham, Alabama.
Yeah, I opened that door and it about took me over the railing because we were on the second floor.
Don't open that door. Yeah, man, what an experience that was. So we had a lot of experiences during that trip. And at the hotel, then certainly at the event, and then back home from there. But it's been such a journey, and it's been such a. I've forgotten so many things, but yet when we have these types of talks, then some memories come back into mind. It just, like I said, it all becomes a blur after a while.
Yeah, I also wanted to. What was the group? Was it the Tone Orbs?
Oh, the Orb Tones. Yeah, Keith Age.
Orb Tones. Yeah.
Yeah, Keith Age put this group together, and I was a part of that group, and we played Keith Age's Mid-South events there for several years. We appeared on live TV on the Good Morning Louisville show, played live on TV. It was amazing. It really was. It's there are so many different facets to this whole thing. It's not just me going and presenting my story and footage, but there are so many multi-layered facets to it. It's like all these puzzle pieces and all these people that came in the puzzle pieces that made it something, I guess, bigger outside of what the story itself was.
Hey, Bill. Keith H. was the bass player for Ted Nugent, correct?
Yeah, great bass player, great singer. And Keith and I became instant friends. And that photo you saw, that was the first time that Dave and I had met Keith H. there at the Omega Con event in Birmingham. But yet we became instant friends and still very close friends to this day. And love him dearly. And I certainly pray for a speedy recovery for him. And so from there, he realized, I don't know, we started talking about music or whatever. And next thing you know, we're playing music together. And then that's how that all materialized. But just incredible. It's amazing how God can bring people into our lives that we have no idea. Same thing, Josh and I talked about this last night on Warrior Mode. God brings people into our lives for a reason. There's a reason for everything. I don't believe in coincidences. So it's amazing how someone can come into your life. Same thing happened with Dave. And then all of a sudden, it's like you've known him forever. And then it just clicks. I guess that's the best way to describe it. It just clicks.
Yeah. All right, let's go ahead and start with Billy. I'm sorry. Billy's always got some good questions. What do you have for Bill? Bill, what do you have for Bill?
All right. Well, I guess I'm probably going to start with the one I want to hear the answer to the most.
Okay.
Considering like the church is always saying the devil is real, why do you think it is like that when there is compelling evidence of paranormal or an issue, they take so long to approve actual action, like an exorcism or something like that?
Boy, this is not going to be a good answer, a popular one, but I've shared this with Josh and Dave and many people, on my broadcast. I'm sort of like I don't know, maybe they'd call me the villain or the outlaw of this or whatever, but what I am, Billy, is a truth seeker. Okay. So I seek the truth because I want to know the truth so I can speak the truth and teach the truth. And I'm sorry to tell you that many of today's churches don't do that. And look, I'm not against anybody, but I'm for the truth. And there are various reasons why they are the way they are. And one of the reasons is fear. You have no idea how many churches I've been called to around this country to help the pastor, the priest, their family, the congregation. They were seeing demons in the church. They were under spiritual attack. You'd be shocked. And in every one of those cases, the pastor or priest was terrified. They said, we're not trained in this. And I don't want any parts of it. I'm terrified. I don't want it. So it is fear that compels them to escape this or to try and just sort of brush this off. That's number one. Number two is power and control. They want to control the narratives. They want to control what to do and what to say, and they want other people to follow along. And when people come in and say, hey, I question why in the Bible where Jesus says, he's telling Peter, don't fear, it's me, I'm not a ghost. They won't go there. If you said that, they don't want any parts of that, but it's there. I mean, there's many instances of UFOs and ghosts and Bigfoot, by the way, in the Bible. Okay. Bigfoot were mentioned as lion men of Moab and hairy satyrs. Benaiah, who was he was the number one bodyguard of David. He was the most fierce warrior of all. And Benaiah went down and got into a pit with one of the hairy satyrs, a Bigfoot, and supposedly slayed him. The account's there. It's if it's, again, do I believe the Bible is 100% true? No, I do not.
Right.
I believe the core message is, but I believe that all throughout the history of time, men have made up stories and they've added to and they've taken away. And we can make a whole other show of that. But trust me when I tell you, believe me when I tell you, I've done the research. I've spent the time in researching for the truth. I pray first and, ask God to lead me to the truth. And he does. So those are the two main factors, Billy, as to why, especially Catholicism, it'll be brushed off. And then, the priest might say to the person, we want to do a mental evaluation on you. This may take weeks or months before we can help you. Meantime, the person's still, suffering. If they're under a real spiritual attack, the demonic spirits are not going to wait until the evaluation is done. They're going to continue to do what they do, which is to kill, rob, and destroy. And a lot of these people have come to me over the years because they were rejected by their priest or their pastor or whatever. So sorry for the long answer, but I
appreciate it because it was always kind of a question of mine, because you always see like sometimes where it's eventually so many years later, there was an official exorcism or, finally like an approval was given and there was so much going on and, even alleged like actual documented proof. And then they're still going, hold on.
Yeah, it's sad and unfortunate. And if we go back to the Bible again, who was the number one exorcist in the Bible? According to the Bible, Yeshua, Jesus the Christ. He was the number one exorcist. He went around casting demons out of people, places, and things. I don't seem to recall any passages in the Bible to where he said, well, wait a minute now, let's get a mental evaluation and let's wait for, 6 weeks, or I don't recall any of those scriptures in there.
Yeah, I remember saying he might be a little nuts.
Right. At the same matter of fact, there was a lunatic, an account of a lunatic that was chained up that Jesus went to and cast the demons out of the lunatic. So, I mean, this is where things go sideways and again, we can make a whole other show out of this, and I won't get long-winded on it, but I'll just say this. A, the winners write the history books, and B, there is an agenda in starting a new religion outside of the Hebrew religion, okay? And that was by the Roman Emperor Constantine and the Flavian dynasty that put Christianity together as we know it. And that comes from the Apostle Paul, who had those writings, who never knew the real Jesus, never walked with him. And so that's where the new religion comes from, and the new way. So this is how the Catholic Church was formed, and then every other denomination after that. It was formed after Constantine the Greek, who is known to the world as Constantine the Great, formed this whole thing. And Constantine, by the way, was a sun worshiper. He was a worshiper of the sun god Mithra. But then, by what I've researched, Rome was losing its grip on the people. They had to find something to unite the people. And that's what they did. They started a new religion that would bring in all the beliefs and practices of the different types of people and their practices, put it all under one umbrella, and called it Christianity. And this is where it all started. There are 45,000 different Christian denominations in the world, all under one and a part of one tree. That's Roman Catholicism. So that's where it started, branched out to all these other denominations. And there are 20,000 world religions as well. So that's 65,000 plus versions of one truth. It's supposed to be one God, one creator. Well, I beg to differ on that too, because Exodus 20 verse 3 says, "You shall have no other gods before me," because there's gods under him, the Elohim. They are the lesser gods. So Yahweh is the most high Elohim. So God is a title, but God in Hebrew means Elohim, which means gods. So people miss this. They don't take the time to study. And when this whole thing kicked off as well, people were not allowed to have Bibles, and they were not allowed to read and research, certainly not like I have over the years. And the reason for that is because the people were to see the priest as the extension of God. And so therefore you were never to question the priest, and he was the one to read the Bible to you, and you better show up for church every Sunday because he was the one that was going to read it to you. He was the one that was going to teach you, and that you were to obey him and really see him as an extension of God. And this worked and has worked for a long, long time.
Hey, Bill, got a question from Karen. She had to take off tonight because she's at the firehouse.
Hi, Karen.
Let me put that up there, and then we'll go to Josh.
Okay, so why do I think so many people believe that in God have such a hard time in believing it goes? Yeah, well, that was Billy was just asking me that, and the reason for that is control. So as I just stated, the priest back then would require you to come to church. They changed the Sabbath day. The Sabbath day is Saturday. Okay, the seventh day of the week is Saturday, not Sunday. And so Constantine changed the Sabbath, and he called it the Lord's Day. And then the priest required the people to come to church on the Lord's Day, Sunday, and the people were taught what that priest taught them. He had full control. And part of that was to keep a certain narrative going and to exclude the narrative of the unknown, the supernatural. It was told to people that it was evil. Don't go there, ignore it, don't think about it. And again, the reason for that is A, fear of that pastor or priest, that he would never want to confront anything like that, and B, to have that level of control over the people and over the narrative, what was being taught to the people. So I hope that answers your question, Karen.
Josh?
Okay, this might seem like a weird question. I just thought of it here. So you were saying that you have been called to help and assist people that are affiliated with the church. This
All
might
over
sound
the
like
country, Josh.
this might sound like a joke, but have you ever been contacted by a politician?
Yeah. And
Yeah. Okay.
police chiefs and captains and political people, you'd be shocked. And world famous entertainers too. I was, what was that, back in about 5 years ago? I was contacted by the most famous Latin entertainer in the history of the world. He owns an island in Miami, and I was flown to his island and to help his family. And I don't want to reveal his name, but I've given you enough to where you could research and find out for yourself. But yeah, people, you wouldn't believe it. Athletes, you wouldn't believe it.
How about like public buildings? Have you ever been called to like, other institutional buildings, schools, hospitals, anything like that?
I was called into a business one time in Rhode Island. They were having a lot of problems in the business, and they were starting to unravel as a company, and they were at each other's throats. And there's probably 20 employees. And I went in there, not only blessed and cleared the place, but then sat down the owner, management, employees, and then we all came back together by the power of God working through me. I gave them advice. I spoke to them as a group and individually as well. And God worked through me to bring peace among them again. They had a lot of issues with each other. And when evil forces are present, they'll press buttons because they want to divide and conquer. That's right out of the devil's playbook. So they will press buttons to get people at odds. And when that takes place, that's all part of the agenda to destroy everything. So if we come, the four of us, if we come together and we're united, we're united right now, we're strong. But if something happens and division is created between us, well, then this whole thing is going to unravel because now we've lost our cohesiveness, our togetherness, and now we're going to be split apart and bad things are going to happen as a result of that. So yes, Josh, I've been in every type of situation that you can imagine with pretty much every type of person and personality that you can imagine.
All right. Thank you.
I could write a book just about, my travels and some of the people, but I don't, I keep everything confidential as far as revealing names and locations and things of that nature and time dates. Even in my book, Tales from an Exorcist, I took and was protecting the identity. So I different areas and different names for certain people that were in that book to protect their identities. But yeah, you name it. And just as we're talking now, some more coming to mind. Voodoo curses placed on certain public officials and you name it. I've seen it all. I really have. I can't, there's nothing that would surprise me anymore. Nothing.
Hey, Bill, I'm going to put a photo up that you sent me. I think you sent me a video too as well, but I got the photo up. Tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah, that's the most recent photo that I've taken. This happened back on the morning of August 24th. It was about 2:30 in the morning. And there are times that I can feel something supernatural there. Okay, I'll put it to you like that. And then I'm compelled to go to the window and look out. And in most cases, when I do that, something is there. So this was, I had just finished working out and was actually headed for the bathroom. And then I felt compelled to go to the window in my bedroom and look out. And when I did, I saw this object. It was in the northern sky and it was pretty high up. And I can't describe it other than to say I have, and I think it's through spiritual discernment. I praise God for it. I have a knowing of things. I'll put it to you that way. And I knew that this was something. And so I went over to my office across I live in a condo on the 5th floor and crossed over through the living room and out to my office. I grabbed my binoculars, which I have. They're like 8 power, and they have a camera that you can take pictures with these binoculars. So I grabbed that. I went back to the window, and it was still there. And I steadied the binoculars on the window ledge and started taking photos. And I noticed as I started taking the photographs, the object started moving away. It was moving away to the north, and it was gaining in altitude. And so I'm thankful that I was able to get those pictures. So the only thing that I did after I downloaded the pictures from the binoculars, I zoomed in on the picture, and it's an extraordinary photo because it looks like it is a heart-shaped object with this pink, purple, it's white in the center, and it's like a pink purple hue. It's extraordinary. But, aren't they all? I've been taking these photographs on a regular basis since October 5th, 1995. That was the first UFO photo that I'd ever taken. And I took the picture in Pasadena, Maryland. The object was shaped like a boomerang, and it was just over the trees, silently hovering. And that's where it started. But as far as the sightings, that goes all the way back to 1977, to my knowledge. Now, there's photographs. There's an extraordinary photo of my mother in 1975 in that house that I grew up in that had all that demonic supernatural activity taking place. Well, aliens and UFOs were part of that. And my mother's on the telephone, and there is a big rectangular mirror behind her. There's an oval-shaped mirror to her left. And in the oval-shaped mirror, you can clearly see, just like how we see each other right now, this gray alien-looking being with big black eyes, big face. And then when you look further in the photograph, you see this little gray guy standing next to my mother on her right, probably 3 feet tall. And you can see the flash of the camera coming off of its head. That's 1975. And then if we back up, there was a photograph taken in 1968. I was 2 years old. My sister and I seated behind a toy piano. Christmas time, 1968. I was 2. She was, I believe, 11. And she's seated to my left. And her far left is this black hooded entity. It looked at least 7 feet tall. It's right there in the photo. And then the following year, in 1969, a Polaroid photo was taken of me at age 3. And it's supposed to be a little boy standing in front of the bushes. And at that very moment when the photograph was taken, it was as if this dimensional doorway opened up and all these different types of beings appear in the photograph. 3 humanoid-looking beings behind me, different sizes, different heights. Above them and us, this thing had to be 10 feet tall or more. It looked like some type of lion face being. And then to my left, it looked like a 3 foot tall gray alien. And to the left of the alien looking being was the face and the figure of like a Bigfoot type of being as well. So at that very moment, and there were other faces in there too, it was like this doorway had opened when that photograph, Polaroid photo, was taken of me in 1969. So those are the origins that I know of, where it began. And then we had a UFO sighting in 1977 over our backyard in the Herondale house, Glen Burnie, Maryland. All the power went out in our house and other houses, and all the neighbors were standing in their yards. We were standing there watching this thing silently hover in the sky for nearly an hour. And it was very low altitude. And it was over a utility pole in the ravine. And then it just gradually gained an altitude and then started heading off in a northerly direction. As it did that, all the power came back on in the houses. So that's the origin as far as the UFO alien type of phenomena. But, again, I've been exposed to supernatural occurrences ever since I came into this world. I write in the new book and speak about in the promo videos, and we'll speak about it in the documentary, that I was exposed to trauma not long after being born and coming into the world. The story goes that, and which I don't believe this story, by the way, I'll never know the truth because my parents are gone and many other family members are gone. Most of my family's gone. But the story goes that after I was born, a hair from a nurse had wrapped around one of my toes and the hair severed the toe. I don't believe that story for how does a hair sever a toe? But I have a scar to this day that wraps completely around that toe. They said that the toe was severed and reattached. But how does a hair from a human being wrap around, an appendage and severs it? I just find that story hard to believe. But nonetheless, it took place. So whatever severed the toe, it happened. It took place. I still have the scar to this day. So I was exposed to trauma not long after coming into the world. And another thing that I talk about is that my parents were married in 1956. My sister was born in 1957. Another child was born in 1963. There are varying accounts about that baby's short life and death. What I do know is that he was a male. He didn't live for long. He died under mysterious circumstances, and representatives from Johns Hopkins Hospital came to retrieve that body for studies. That's what I know for sure. I called Johns Hopkins back in the 90s to try and get the case files from 1963, and the lady told me that they no longer kept records beyond 1970. I find that hard to believe too, because if there was something significant about the death of that child, and if it was significant enough for Johns Hopkins to send representatives out there to retrieve that body for studies, then there should still be a case file about that. Wouldn't you guys agree?
Oh, absolutely.
So I may try and reach out to them again, now that we're bringing this stuff up, and just see what the story is this time, what they'll tell me this time. But I'd love to be able to somehow access those records from 1963 to find out exactly what happened to the child and what was so significant and mysterious as well that would have officials from Johns Hopkins Hospital come and retrieve that body for studies. So it's just been an amazing journey. So then I was, born in 1966, and then my brother was born in 1969. But I find that amazing that the first male child dies under mysterious circumstances. And now I'm the second male child, and I'm born, but then suffer a trauma by having a toe amputated, not long after coming into the world. I'd say that's pretty significant. And there was, in my opinion, evil forces at work. And looking back on it, this is the best way, I guess, that I can reconcile this. Perhaps God had a plan for me, a designated assignment to be this spiritual warrior before coming into the world. And if what I'm saying is true, then maybe that's why the devil was working so hard to try and destroy me before I could get to where God wanted me and needed me to be.
Wow.
I've been in so many life-threatening situations through my life. I fell 50 feet off a building one time. 50, think about what I'm saying to you now. 50 feet. I know people that went to their death falling 15 feet. I know people that destroyed their legs and ankles and feet from a 15-foot fall. I fell 50 feet off of a building. Now, thank God, I was working for a construction company. It was in the late 80s, and it was a windy day. I was up there with a friend of mine, Frank Hutchinson. He's no longer with us, but Frank testified to many people. Dave met Frank Hutchinson. He testified to many people that what I said about this event was absolutely the truth. We were on one of those salt domes for the state of Maryland. We were restoring it. We were pulling off. We pulled off the shingles first, then we had to pull the plywood off the structure. And Frank and I were up on a very thin 1x plank. And I think it was like a 1x4 or 1x6 on roof jacks that we had nailed into the structure. And it was a windy day, and we peeled a piece of the plywood back. A gust of wind caught it. I tried to brace myself on the interior structure, which was rotted, and it was like 1x3 strips in there. And I put my hand on the 1x3 and I went right through. And I remember saying, oh no, it was happening so fast, but yet it happened in slow motion as well. And I praise God for saving me. And on the way down, I wiped out this big aluminum ladder. My whole side was bruised because I hit that, bounced off of it. And then I landed on my rear end. And thank God there was some salt. There was a little bit of salt, I guess enough to break my fall, in the bottom of that salt dome. And so I laid there for a few minutes. I thought, oh dear God, I got to be seriously hurt. They're saying, stay down. The guys ran and told me stay down. They called an ambulance. My hand to God, may he strike me dead here and now if I'm lying to you. I got up. Not only did I get up, after about 15 or 20 minutes, I went back up there and went to work. And I was shaking like this. My hands were shaking. My knees were shaking. I had nightmares about that for weeks. And I had to quit that job because I could no longer do that job after that. But if that's not a miracle from God, I don't know what is. And everything that I described to you happened exactly as I described it.
Well, Bill, I'll tell you this. I know I had a miracle from God because I hit a tractor trailer head on at 80 miles an hour.
You should have been dead. So our glorious God does work miracles for us. And for the person, and there's plenty of skeptics out there that say, oh, come on, all this religious BS or whatever. Well, I beg to differ because he works a miracle for us every day when we open our eyes. It is the miracle of life. And that can never be explained by anybody. Not the most brilliant mind in this world can they explain how we open our eyes for another day of life. It is a miracle from God that he gives to us. I do believe that he assigns guardian angels to us, each and every one of us, just as the devil will assign demons to each and every one of us, and they wait for openings. And when those openings take place, and usually it's through trauma, then the devil will send those entities in to start the attack on the target.
Hey, I'm sorry I stepped away earlier. I had to go pay the podcast water bill. So
we wondered what happened. We thought maybe you were taken.
Yeah, anytime you see that, it's just a matter of something very important,
Billy, is this his normal protocol for what he does during these broadcasts?
It really is. All of a sudden, he just leaves me running the asylum, and next thing you know, it's just pandemonium.
Well, I'll tell you, time flies.
I
Bill,
can't believe it.
Do you have any extra time to stay with us for a little while, or? Because we're coming up on we're at 7:48 p.m.
I can stay with you.
I mean, not long.
Yeah, I can stay with you about another 15 minutes, and I'm going to have to go. But I want to talk about one of the things I want to talk about before we leave is this event that you've put together for me, this book signing. We got to get into that too.
Yeah, let me throw that up there.
While you're doing that, can I ask a quick question?
Sure, Billy.
About the book, I'm curious. First of all, you've written what? 12
I'm sorry, Josh.
No, it's okay. You've written 12 other books, and I think this one is different in that it's got a lot of new material. It's got old material. It's got more photographs, I think, than some of the previous ones. So tell us about it. Like, where did the idea come from? Why you wrote this one? Why now?
And Josh, that's a great question. And again, my hand to God. I know sometimes people say, all he does is talk about God. How can I not talk about God? I'm a walking, talking, living, breathing miracle from God. So I'm going to praise him with every breath that I have. And if people have a problem with that, well, it's their problem, not mine, but I'm speaking the truth. So the truth of the matter is that I get this inspiration from God. And sometimes I'll be in sleep. I've been awakened out of my sleep, being shown a book title the cover picture, the color of the cover, the whole thing. And so I was, in my mind, I thought, I'm done at 12 books. I'm not writing any more books. I'm thankful that I was able to do that. It's over. But yet, God had another plan for me, and he put this on me again that I needed to do this 13th book. And I thought, well, I've said it all. I mean, but then I thought, well, wait a minute. No, I haven't said it all, because there's a lot. And I was a little hesitant. I was hesitant for years to share my experiences like this, because again, people will either label you. I've had the religious people call me a heretic, an antichrist. I've had, the paranormal people call me a Jesus freak or whatever, because I always mention God. I've had the skeptic people call me a nut or an opportunist, that I'm trying to make money. And, everything that I do is all fraudulent. It's all made up. So I've had all these things come from all these people. And I don't like it. I mean, I don't like to have people calling me names or sending harsh messages or whatever. I mean, and for the most part, I have a lot of wonderful messages that come to me, and I'm thankful for that. But then, when God puts something on me like this, I have to obey. And I did obey it. And I thought, I still have a body of work here that I need to present, no matter who says what, no matter who might have a problem with it or whatever. I need to present this. And that's exactly what I did, Josh. I went to work on it. And I have so many, these images, they scratch the surface. I probably have 1,000 photographs that I've taken over the years. And I, at one time, had over 16 hours of video footage that I shot as well. And let me make it clear, I don't go seeking these things. They come to me. And I believe the origins of them are right out of the Bible too. Psalm 68:17 says the chariots of God are 20,000. So Yahweh, our creator, is the creator of these flying Merkaba chariots. But I also believe that when Hasatan, the devil, and a third of the angels, the B'nai Elohim, the sons of God, were cast out of heaven, they were cast out in those flying craft. They came down here, they took human women, they produced a hybrid offspring of giants called the Nephilim. The Nephilim went into the forest and fields and had unnatural sex acts with apes, bears, wolves, dogs, monkeys, you name it. And those are the Bigfoot, Sasquatch, Sabe beings. It's all connected. And that's why I say all of this in the book promo that Dave played, I believe 100% that all this supernatural phenomena is connected. No doubt about it. So there you go. Sorry for the long answer, but... And I got news for you. There's going to be a Bean Files 14 now. But, the 14th book, I already have the wheels already turning for that, because, again, there's so much more to show and tell. And the show and tell aspect continues to unfold right before us. And with the image that Dave showed earlier, I mean, this is extraordinary, and it is for a reason. So obviously, God wants me to continue to speak about these things, to show this footage and documentation. And so that's what I'm doing.
So I'm curious about the upcoming event. Tell people what to expect if they're going to come. Like what's going to be happening, what time?
Well, this and I have to say thank you very much, Dave. Again, I appreciate it, brother. I do, and I appreciate everybody. And you said Karen is involved in this, right? So she's
yes. Yes,
Karen, thank you too. And I'm really looking forward to it, Josh. I think it's going to be a great. I have no idea how many people are going to be there. Like I said with you guys off camera, could be 10 people, could be 20, could be 100. I don't know. That's out of my control and out of my hands. But I hope people will come out. It's always great to see everybody and meet them.
Is it drop-in? People just stop by any time, or do they need to be there when it starts? How does it work?
How does that work, Dave?
Give me 1 second. Okay, there we go. Got it to work finally. People can come in and, they can, I guess they can stay as long as they need to, from 4 to 7.
Yeah, so the event is from 4 to 7.
There's no special time that, that they have to remain there. They can come in, they can get a book, talk to Bill, and and leave. That's up to them. So
Yeah, so I'm excited about it. It's always great to come out there and meet people that want to come out and meet me or get a copy of the book or get a picture or whatever it is. I mean, that's always wonderful. And I'm looking forward to it, Josh. I think it's going to be a great event, and we're going to have some other events as well in the area, and then some other events out of the area. We're talking right now about putting one together in Philadelphia. There are 2 events that we're in the planning now in New York. So there's going to be other places that we're going to have these types of events, and we're really looking forward to it.
all right, so let me Billy, do you have a question before what I want to do is get into the details about the book signing, but if you have a
Sure.
question, go ahead.
Bill, do you think there's any reason why, like, there are some people that are more likely to have paranormal encounters or, demonic or spirit ghost or anything like that versus others?
That's a great question too, Billy. And in the book, I talk about my good buddy Stan Gordon, who's a world-renowned UFO Bigfoot investigator. He investigates all the unknown. He's been doing so for over 60 years in near the Pittsburgh area. I mentioned in the book someone like Stan Gordon, who is known worldwide as a legendary investigator. He has never had a paranormal supernatural encounter, never saw Bigfoot, never seen a UFO. Now that is amazing. How is that possible that a man that has been an investigator in that field for 60 years has never had any such experience? But then there are people like me that seem to be designated for whatever reasons to have these types of experiences. So I believe, now, look, I don't pretend to know all the answers, but this is just a guess. So my best guess on this would be perhaps God does designate certain people for certain things to have certain experiences for certain reasons.
Mm-hmm.
So that's my best answer on it.
Bill, I finally got to meet Stan Gordon back in 2024, and I spent a good 2 hours, just sitting and chatting with him. He's a very nice guy.
I thought you went with me on that Pittsburgh thing when I made that appearance at that event, and Stroh was there, and I thought you met Stan Gordon then.
No.
Okay, yeah, Stan is another guy that we met at that event in Pittsburgh. I was appearing, and he was appearing as well at that event that was put together by Anthony Coliano. And we met, and we were good buddies right from the beginning. We've been great friends ever since. And Stan is, he has quite a body of work, throughout his years and experiences. And he's going to be coming on Warrior Mode again soon. And we're looking forward to that. So, but, that is extraordinary when you think about it. A man that has such a catalog of cases. I mean, he's got files and files and files overflowing from 60 years of research and investigation, and yet has never had an experience for himself.
Oh, hey, Josh.
Mm-hmm.
Make sure you say hello to Mom.
Oh, hi, Mom. Is she here?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep, she's in there.
Hi, Mom.
She's watching.
I can't see the chat from where.
And I say hi to Shar as well, and I'm glad that glad she's nearby there.
Say hi,
I'm a little confused. I thought I was saying hi to my mom. She always tunes into Warrior Mode. I thought maybe my mom.
Well, I'm gonna say hi to your mom too.
Hi, Shar. Hi, everybody's mom.
Yes, absolutely. And we're glad that you're here, and we're glad. And I thank everybody out there for whoever's watching. It's been great being on with you guys. And I knew the time was going to go by super, super fast. So I hope you'll have me back for a part 2.
Oh, we definitely will.
Because we're just scratching the surface. I mean, there's so many things to get into, and so many facets. But, you've all had great questions. And I answered to the best of my ability and capability. And a lot of the answers, too, are in the new book, The Bean Files. And is it my concrete answers? Well, it's my best guess and speculation because nobody has these answers for sure. So we base it on our interpretation, base it on truth. We always hope that it's based in truth and giving the most truthful answer that we believe is the truth anyway, whenever asked. So it's theory, conjecture, speculation, opinion to the best of our ability and capability to try and answer truthfully.
Okay, I'm going to throw this one up there. And
there it is.
There it is. Bill Bean, The Spiritual Warrior, book signing, 4 p.m. to 7 p.m., September 5th, 2026. It's going to be at the Glendale Volunteer Fire Department. The address is listed on here. And like it says, we hope to see you there.
Yeah.
And let's see.
There's going to be a documentary crew there that night too, right?
Correct. Yeah. And
so
big thank you to Derek Stroman. So Derek Stroman of Stroman Entertainment is putting together a documentary as a companion piece to the book. This is something too that I've never done before, and this is how amazing God is. Derek has been on vacation, a much needed and well-deserved vacation with his wife and friends, and God put it on me. I've never done this before, and I've had movie companies and other ask me to write treatments and outlines and all that. I really couldn't do it. Synopsis, I would do it, but it wasn't correct. But in this case, I was able to write the outline and treatment synopsis for this documentary while Derek was on vacation. So it's going to make his job a lot easier, but he is going to be there. He is going to be after the event doing some, I'm sure he's going to video the entire event. But after the event, we're going to do additional shooting to where some interviews may be included. And then we're actually going to try, and look, I can't promise anything because this is out of my control as well. I can pray and ask God to do it. But after we leave the venue, we're going to try. Derek's going to point the camera upward, and we're going to see if we could capture something for the camera that would be added into the documentary. Again, I make no guarantees on any. That's way out of my control. But we're going to see if we can, get something on the video for the documentary. So we'll see how that goes.
Yeah. Hey, Billy, you got to watch Billy. He might drop in as a drone.
I hope Billy is there anyway, no matter how he comes, if he comes via drone or how he gets there. But yeah, Billy, I hope you are there.
Well, the good thing is I will be there because I am pretty much the what's the word I want to use?
Curator.
I'm the event staff that evening.
Well, thank you. Again, I thank Karen and you for helping to make this possible.
Oh, absolutely. I look forward to it. I actually met a couple today who were saying they definitely plan on being at the event. A couple from Aberdeen.
Great. And that's a pretty long haul from Aberdeen all the way down to Glendale. So that's great. Again, we don't know how many people's going to be there, but I don't care if it's one person or I don't care if it's 100 people. I'll treat everybody the same way, and I'll be thankful and grateful that everybody's there. And we'll just let God be God. It's going to be a wonderful event no matter what happens, and I'm very much looking forward to it.
Absolutely.
So I thank you guys. I really appreciate it. And Josh, I certainly, again, I don't want to take you from any obligations, certainly when it comes to family obligations. But, if you can make it, I will be so overjoyed that you are there and that you are able to make it. Praise God, wonderful. But same thing, if you can't, I completely understand. And there will be another time.
Yeah, we've never met in person. I'm looking forward to meeting you in person. So
yeah, it's exciting.
If it doesn't happen now, I'll be at the next one.
Yeah, exactly right. We're talking about another thing that we're going to put our heads together and see if we can come up with something near the Herondale area in the future, the Glen Burnie area. We'll see if that is fruitful and if we can put an event on like that. If not, it'll be somewhere else in Maryland. Perhaps it's several locations in Maryland. We'll just see. We'll just see how it all turns out.
If you're going to do something in Herondale, you definitely have to have a documentary crew there, because you have no idea locally who's going to show up and who might have other pieces to the story and whatnot.
And you brought up something last night. Josh brought up something last night that Fox 40, and Dave, you probably remember this, back in the year 2000, Fox 45 has featured me twice on their cover story over the years. I think once in 1999 and again in 2000. And I think the piece in 2000 was about the house and the family that currently lived in the house at that time. I mean, it's 26 years ago or more. And that family went on camera saying that nothing was taking place there. It's all made up by Bill Bean. The only evil thing was Bill Bean in his books. It was all, they had no trespassing signs up on the house. And look, I've never publicly given that address out. Never. In any interview, in any appearance that I've made, speaking engagement, I've never given the address out, and nor will I. But those events really took place, and I have every right to speak about that, because that is something that greatly affected me and my family. So I'm sorry she felt the way she felt, but I think she was saying those things to try and keep people away from that house, because after the Fox 45 thing aired, I was contacted by her best friend, and she told me that lady and her family were having all types of supernatural problems in there. And the lady was wheelchair bound with a mysterious illness. They didn't know what was going on. I don't know. What I do know is that I've been called back to that area 3 or 4 times over the years as the spiritual warrior, because other people had demonic problems in their homes very close to that house. And I went back and by the power of God working through me, was able to evict the evil out and off and away from that family and their homes. So I think there's something going on there to this very day. There's another family, and I think I'm gonna put Josh into contact with one of them. The family name was Hardin, Edward Hardin. He actually came and appeared at one of my local lectures, and he verified, not only my story, but he verified the experiences that he had there with his family as well, because they moved in the house after my family. And they too had many supernatural experiences, including an event where the mother had gone to the bathroom. She shut the bathroom door. She didn't lock it. And all of a sudden she couldn't get out. Something was holding the door shut. And Ed and his brother went and got an axe and chopped that door down to get her out. And so there are many things like that. And so I was glad that there were people that stepped up and said, hey, wait a minute now, this guy's not making it up, and he's not crazy, or he's not trying to capitalize on anything. Here's what happened to me while my family and I lived there at the house. So, and another interesting thing, and I know we're getting on the end here, another interesting thing is that my dad built a garage adjacent to that house. And he put a basketball backboard and hoop on that. I'd play out there for hours. And then I would feel this presence there. Couldn't see it. I knew it was there. And I'd drop that basketball and run. And that unseen presence was chasing me into the house. That happened so many times, I've lost count. So what's really interesting about this, now I never said anything to Edward Hardin about that, okay? Edward Hardin told me that they had an ice chest, a storage chest for like meats and stuff like that out in that garage. And he would go out there to retrieve certain meats or whatever for his mom. And he would feel this unseen force that started chasing him. The same thing. I never said a word to him prior to that about my experiences there about being chased, but he said the same thing. And it was when he was retrieving the foods out of that freezer in the garage.
Hey, Bill, I'm going to share something with you. I'm not going to mention his last name, but when I mention his first name, you're going to know exactly who I'm talking about. And I'm not trying to keep Billy and Josh in limbo, but a friend of mine asked me to take him there. so he could just see the house. I said, well, what do you want to do? He said, I just want to look at it. So I took Richard there.
Mm-hmm.
God rest his soul. He's now deceased. But I took him there, and he just walked up the driveway, went in the backyard, taking pictures everywhere. And I'm like, get me out of here. So he spent a good 10 minutes. I guess they weren't home because nobody saw him.
Yeah.
He come back down the driveway, he got in the car, and we left.
Now, there's something that you're not telling them, that there's only 3 places in my lifetime, and I've been everywhere. I've been all over this country, many times over. There's 3 places in my lifetime that I got this certain kind of feeling. 1 was that house that I grew up in. 2, the Amityville house. I performed a spiritual deliverance for one of the Amityville kids. And 3, Untermeyer Park in New York. And that's where the Son of Sam cult operated and performed ritual sacrifices in that park. That's the only 3 places in America that I've ever had that feeling. And Dave said he had that feeling as well, and others. When they went down there, you could just feel that overwhelming feeling of dread, just an awful, indescribable, heavy type of feeling that you could feel the presence of evil.
Tremendously, yeah. Because, see, my life in the paranormal, the way I could tell when something was not right was I would go into a location, I would have trouble breathing and trouble focusing. So when I would get that feeling, I would have to leave, go outside, get some air, and then come back in. And if it continued, then I just stayed out of there for a while.
And the reason for that is that's a manipulation of the frequencies and vibrations. So all life operates on frequency and vibration. The devil is a master of manipulating the frequencies and vibrations, and he will lower them. So he wants them to be lower, so we're wide open and vulnerable for demonic attacks. So that's why when a person feels the presence of evil, it is that awful, heavy, dreadful feeling that can be associated with smells of sulfur, feces, rotting flesh. And also there are times that people get a tremendous buzzing or ringing in their ears. And that too is a manipulation of the frequencies and vibrations that comes on to the human target. And at that point, it is time to go. So, but guys, speaking of time to go, it's going to be time for me to go. And I appreciate you guys having me on. It's been great being on with you. And I hope you'll schedule me for the follow-up, because we can talk about the event. And then there's a lot of other things to talk about as well.
Yeah, we'll do that. We'll definitely bring you back on after the book signing and do a part 2 and get all those questions in there that Josh, Billy, and myself have. So, yeah,
let's do it.
Well, Bill, we want to thank you for being the guest tonight. I guess myself, Billy, and if Josh has time, we can hang around for a little bit more and just talk about a few things, and I'll get the information out for the book signing, and I'll post that a couple more times.
Fantastic.
And,
well, again,
if you can't make it to the signing, where else can you get the book?
Amazon. Go to my website, billjbean.com, or you can go to thebeanfiles.com. You could go there and click that link. It'll take you right to the Amazon page, and you can order. And for those of you out there, if you do order the book and you read it and you feel compelled to do so, please write a review. If you write a review, please post it on the Amazon page. I would greatly appreciate that. I've already had every review has been a 5-star review so far, and I'm very thankful for that. And so it is a very compelling book. It's a very powerful account, and it is a very authentic account. So it's 3 for 3, and it is really having a tremendous buzz and impact already. And so I look forward to great things. And the most important part is an awakening that, hey, these things are real. There are people out there that have these experiences on a regular basis, and there are people that document these things on a regular basis. So I would hope for a person that is fearful of sharing their experiences and or documentation, this might compel them to come forward and share their stories and their documentation as well. So with that, guys, thank you so much for having me. I really appreciate it. God bless all of you and your families. And thank you for everybody out there watching. And looking forward to coming back after the book signing event. We'll discuss all that.
All right. Thank you
All
very
right,
much,
guys.
Bill.
Thank you.
You have a good night. All right. So there you go, Mr. Bill Bean. So, Billy, any thoughts?
I mean, I can't wait until next week. Get to meet him in person. And I don't know if you heard me earlier. I'd like to make the attempt at it. I can see those files, at least in the library. I don't know if they're going to play for me any different than you, but I can certainly try.
Okay. Josh, any last words or?
Yeah. So just something I'm going to throw out there for people that are going to come to the event, and Bill said, Reverend Bean said he's going to take the time to talk to everybody. He talked about that UFO sighting that was behind the house in Glen Burnie, and it was above the ravine. And if you get the chance to talk to him, ask him about that ravine. Out of his entire story, that's the thing that fascinates me the most, because a lot of other things are connected to that area. And there's a ghost before the show started. He mentioned off the air that there was a body found in that area that I didn't know about. The very first, and I tell this story all the time, people are probably tired of hearing it, but the very, very, very first time that Reverend Bean was ever on Coast to Coast AM,
Right.
somebody called in and they were like, hey, those tunnels, those trenches back there, there's something going on back there. So he wasn't the only one in that neighborhood that was talking about this. At one point, I think he found some sort of altar back there. So if you get the chance, or maybe when you guys have him back on again, ask him about that ravine behind that house, because out of the whole story, that actually fascinates me more than the house itself.
Okay. I want to take the time to let's see. Let me go. Wow. I just hit the list and it brought it up, and now, I want to give a shout out to Bill Visconti for tuning in tonight, and Crafty Witch Soiree, Michael Shango. Let's see if I can say this right. Walter Kukumpinski. I know I said that wrong. I just tore that up. Hey, you want to say hi to Kathy Stone and Josh's mom and Karen for tuning in tonight. So, Billy, you said you want to try to. What's that?
I said, don't forget Tracy.
I didn't see Tracy's name in there. That's why I didn't mention it. But hello, Tracy. There you go. You said you want to try to play. What did you want to try to play in the library?
The tributes.
Do you see them?
I see them. Yeah. Let me see if one will work.
Okay. Sure. Go ahead.
I don't know if it's going to do anything, because we all want to, take a moment to remember and miss the late great Dolly Parton, who so many around the world loved.
Especially the men.
Of course, Mr. Tim Curry, one of my personal favorite actors. My favorite movie has always been, It. Legend was absolute legend to me as well. And then, of course, we also have the late Peter Cullen. Now, a lot of people may not recognize the face, but y'all know the voice. He did Optimus Prime, Eeyore. He was the voice of Venger in the Dungeons and Dragons cartoon. At one point, he was the voice of Kit. He was even the voice of Monterey Jack from Rescue Rangers, and even a character on Rainbow Bright. So I just wanted to take a moment to, remember some of those people from our childhoods and people who are loved around the world.
Tim Curie. I was just wondering, Billy, have you seen any red balloons out there in the grates?
I haven't, and I was actually kind of hoping to.
Yeah.
Because I've seen that a lot of people are kind of tying those to storm drains and stuff, and I would like to see them, and I just haven't yet.
I'm sorry, Tracy. Hello. Some of the, listeners are not in the list when I pull it up, so I apologize to the ones I didn't mention. And hello, Sherry. And yeah, so it's something always strange, but yeah, I don't know if Karen told you, but royalty, what was his name? King Harry passed away today, and Jack Black. I think Jack Black was a comedian.
Are you serious?
Yeah. Yeah, I heard about it this morning. So
Yeah, that would be some catching up I have to do at this point.
okay. All right, so let's get we're going to put up the information for Bill Bean's book signing one more time. Oh. All right. I can't take that down off the
I can't either. I'm not sure why, but I'm working on it.
Okay. Jack Black is still alive. I just checked. Okay, so that was fake news.
Yeah, his birthday was yesterday.
Yeah. Usually when I hear something like that, I'll go in and do an extensive look, rather than just going off of the one clip that I saw. I usually go in and look for something from TMZ or something like that. So there we go. All right. Let's all right, I got that adjusted. So, yeah, Tracy says Jack Black is still alive. She just checked. Okay. All right, so now I'm going to put this up one more time. And that is September 5th from 4 to 7. And come on out. Come on out and meet myself and Karen, Billy, and Bill Bean. Let's go to this one. And there's also going to be the documentary that's going to be filmed as well. Okay. All right. Put that up for Karen. All right. So anything else, guys, before we get out of here? Josh, let me thank you again. Thank you for filling in tonight. It's always a pleasure to have you on.
Thank you for inviting me. I appreciate it. And next time, if you guys need me to fill in for Karen again, I'm not that far. I could go over to Billy's house and just sit right next to him if you want.
There you go.
But seriously, thank you for having me. I enjoyed it. Thank you.
Anytime. It's always a pleasure. Yep. So let me just take a look at. Still nothing here for audio, Dave. Okay, I'll take a look at that later. All right, so we're going to go ahead. Let me get back to where I need to be. And we're going to go ahead and we're going to close out. And good night to everyone. And thank you for tuning in tonight. And we'll see you. Well, next week, the podcast won't be on a Saturday. It's going to be on a Sunday from 7 to 9. I'll be.
And why is that again?
Yeah, why is that?
Because I don't want to do a live, from the.
That would be awesome. You should do it live. That would be cool.
Yeah. You think so?
No.
No.
I don't have to be there.
The only reason I say no is we might be a little overwhelmed because there is that possibility.
Yeah, you're just picking on me. That's all.
No, I'm just saying, like, Reverend Bean's got a lot of followers. I mean, if some of them show up, or a lot of them, then we're going to be busy folks.
Well, let me tell you what happened back at the St. Helena Community Center, okay? I was only expecting, I think it was around 60 people, and 137 people showed up.
See?
I was like,
more than double.
I wasn't planning on, at
Did
the
the
door.
building even fit that many people? It's a small building.
Yeah, it holds like 250 people.
I did not realize that.
Yep, 250 people. They actually have 2 rooms.
Okay.
One is the large room, and the other one's just a little bit smaller. But we had the large room.
Which part are you referring to? The date?
I'm sorry, what?
Karen, Dave, Karen's telling you were fired.
I'm fired.
Apparently, you were a terrible administrative assistant.
Informed of that.
Informed
of what?
Sunday.
Sunday.
She said, when was I going to be informed of that? You're fired. Pink penguin slips for you, buddy.
Yeah, that's what I tell her all the time. Yep, I tell her all the time. Actually, you started it, Billy. You told her, you're fired.
No, you told me to tell her that.
Dave told me to tell you you're fired. All right, tell Karen to pay attention to what she's doing. We weren't talking about what the fire station holds.
Well, Karen, Dave said stay in your lane.
Stay in your lane. You're fired.
You know you're going to have on next Sunday. Do you have a guest lined up yet?
I got to get back to him and see if it's a definite. If not, I got to, shop around.
I'm just because I'm curious to watch. I don't want to be on it. I was curious.
Yeah. So
you've had some really good guests on lately. I've been enjoying it.
Oh, let me say this before I close out. I am in touch with 3 people. I'm not going to say their name right now until it's a definite. But these 3 people that I may be having on the show were former stars, child stars of a TV show. I'm sorry. Back in the days. So once I know for sure, then I'll let you guys know. Yep. All right, we're gonna get out of here, and I hear some thunder out there. Let me make sure I'm not getting yelled at one more time. She's being bad. All right. So, all right, Josh, thank you again. And if you guys want to hang out in the green room, I'm going to be in there in a few seconds. But right now, I'm going to put you in the green room, and I'm going to go ahead and close out.
I'm going to go check in on my family. Have a good evening.
Have a good one,
All
guys.
right. You too.
Thank you.
Mhm.
Was he gonna check in on his family? Where the heck's he
Where
at?
did he?